Djokovic is deposed. There's a new king of centre court.
You might have heard about this kid Carlos Alcaraz. But how good is he really? Carlos might just be the person to reinvigorate tennis back to the big three glory days. Carlos is already in his 7th year on tour. Yeah, you heard that right. This guy turned pro at 15. By 17, he was in the top 100. And when he hit 19 in 4 months, he became the youngest man and the first male teenager to be the #1 in the world. And since becoming #1, it really hasn't slowed him down at all. He won the US Open, Wimbledon and French Open, completing the Surface Slam at 21. This guy is special. And guess what, he's only just started. Which begs the question, is he ahead of Rafa at that age? Does Roger need to come out of retirement to stop him? And just how long does he need to sustain this before Novak starts to worry about his records? Alright, let's chat through what Carlos has achieved to date and how that compares with the greats. At 21, Roger had won 1 slam, just Wimbledon, Novak had 1 Australian Open, and Rafa had 3 French Opens. Carlos already has 3 Grand Slams on 3 different surfaces: US Open, Wimbledon, and French Open. At 21, Roger was as high as the world #6, Novak as high as #7, and Rafa was as high as world #2. Carlos has already reached the #1 spot and held that for 20 weeks. Roger and Rafa got to #1 at 22 years old, and Novak at 24 years old. Carlos reached the milestone at 19 years old. Carlos has amassed 5 Masters, 1,000 titles. Roger had just 1 Masters. He was a bit of a late bloomer. Novak had 4, and Rafa had 6 all on clay. There is no doubt that Carlos, or Carlitos, which he affectionately likes to be called, is ahead of the curve in comparing with the big 3, and is starting to build a very strong case in etching himself into the GOAT conversations if he can keep up this rate. And if the tennis gods are kind, he will likely challenge Novak for most Grand Slams. And look, it's not all about longevity and endurance when it comes to this. The famed Swedish Bjorn Borg won 11 Grand Slams. He won 6 French Opens, 5 Wimbledons consecutively, and made 4 US Open finals in that period, only to retire at just 25 years old. Sometimes fame and success can erode the hunger of winning and rewriting the record books, but the way Carlitos plays the big points. This kid wants the fame. He embraces it. Okay, so we know Carlos has started a bit faster than both Roger and Novak. But these guys went on a tear in their mid-20s, so what does Carlos have to do to stay on trajectory of becoming the GOAT? Prime Roger went 11 from 17 Grand Slam from 2004 to 2007 when he was 24 years old. That was pretty phenomenal. It's hard to work out when Prime Novak was or is, as he's been collecting Grand Slams at an alarming rate his whole career apart from a barren 2017 season. And we know how the Rafa story has gone. There were some doubts he would complete La Decima, but he put that to bed and ended up racking up 14 French Opens, breaking all limitations of what people thought was possible. If Carlos can stay fit and say he can win 1 slam on average until 35, he would finish his career on 17 slams, still shy of Roger's 20, and well short of Novak's 24, which likely will be more before the curtains close. There have already been concerns early in Carlos's career with injuries. He has pulled out of the Australian Open due to a hamstring injury, has withdrawn due to ankle and hamstring problems, had that strange bout of cramps against Novak in the French Open semi-final in 2023. But more recently, a right forearm embolism that almost made him miss the French Open, which he ended up winning. Yeah, he won that at less than 100%. Federer didn't miss a slam for over 10 years straight, and has never retired from a professional match. Rafa has had similar issues with injuries over his career. However, the one constant was winning the French, and when he was healthy he was winning multiple slams. As for Novak, he's been consistently winning Grand Slams each year, apart from 2017 with his elbow problem, and more recently not being able to compete to COVID-19 status. Novak seems to be immune to aging. For Carlos, the signs of wear and tear are worrying. It makes me believe Carlos needs to continue this rich vein of form. We might already be witnessing prime Carlitos. In my opinion, Carlos needs to be pushing for multiple slams each year while the iron is hot. Despite having a much more aggressive game than Rafa and Novak, Carlos loves a highlight, and to the detriment of his longevity, he has chosen to electrify his fan base with feats of athleticism and moments of physical brilliance. And look, modern recovery has improved out of sight, so hopefully my view is proven wrong, and we get to see Carlos on tour late into his 30s. But if I was a betting man, I think Carlos's body won't be as durable as the big three. If you're enjoying this content, please like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it and it helps me make better content for you guys. And feel free to drop a comment if you think Carlos will become the GOAT. The biggest obstacle for Carlos is this guy, Jannik Sinner. He's the current number 1 and is only 1 year older than Carlos. He won the Australian Open, finally stamping his mark in the Grand Slam race. His last 12 months he's been on another galaxy. In 2024, he's got 40 wins and 3 losses. He's only lost 1 match on hardcourt from 20. 2 of his losses were Carlos. It took a while, but the next generation are well and truly here. This is the man that will be challenging him for slams. He's not looking for an easy way. In fact, he looks to enjoy the grind.
Oh, he's made it again!
He might even have a run at GOAT status himself. It will be very interesting to see how this rivalry pans out. Currently, Carlos leads 5-4 in the head-to-head. No doubt, we will see a lot more of these guys in action in the future. The other major obstacle I foresee is his only weakness, which is his shot selection. He has every shot in the book, but he picks the one the crowd wants. Carlos does not play percentage tennis. On big points, he takes even bigger risks. He'll hit his fastest forehand or play the deftest drop shot. It's paid off so far, but having watched enough of the big three era, their shot selection and adaptability as their athleticism has wore down has improved, and this is how they have managed to stay successful. I'm not saying that Carlos can't adapt, but he has a different mindset to those past. Carlos has shown his versatility across all surfaces so early in his career. He had a 90% win rate in his 2023 season, which the big three would accomplish later in their careers and in their prime seasons. Although Novak is still hanging around, Carlos's win at the 2023 Wimbledon final is a hurdle he has overcome so early in his career, which has stalled numerous other talents on tour and is a huge tick for his confidence. Rafa won't be around on clay for much longer. Roger has departed. There are only a handful of players on tour that might be able to challenge him in best of 5, and if he plays well, it's hard to see him losing to them. Look, Carlos has every shot in the book. His forehands are explosive, his backhands are explosive, he has great touch and feel at the net, and his serves are only getting better. If he hasn't hit his ceiling, this is a pretty scary prospect. Even if he improves by 1%, this would mean he would probably clean up the calendar slam. He is still young and he is still hungry. Advantage Carlos. Carlitos is already a Hall of Famer statistically if he retires today, and yet he has barely hit 20. He is on a trajectory to be up there with the big three, and look, he might even go past them if he can stay healthy and have longevity in the game. His only obstacle is Jannik Sinner, and both these guys will elevate tennis back to the top of sports entertainment. I know I will be staying up to watch these two battle, as I did with the big three. The ageless Novak will hang around to impede both Carlos and Jannik, as he tries to defend his records, and I won't be putting it past him to stick around to 40.
Youngest ever world number 1 as a teenager.
He moves like Novak. He looks like he has a bit of Rafa's mentality DNA. And his forehand has a bit of Roger about it. I hope the tennis gods can keep this kid healthy, so we can really see how close he will come to becoming the GOAT. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Comment if you think Carlitos will become the GOAT.